Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in game number 3 between EG DeMusliM and Empire viOLet, now tied up 1-1. Empire viOLet winning last game with a counterattack after dealing with some Bunker Reaper harass from DeMusliM at his natural expansion. The Bunker and Reaper harass actually killed off viOLet's expansion. However, the Spieling counterattack was luckily for viOLet able to sneak into the main. You know, we saw DeMusliM unfortunately didn't have that full wall off. Had he had a full wall off up, he could have delayed it long enough, I think, to get those Reapers in to assist in defending against that. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. The other thing, too, is that viOLet also had a Baneling nest finished. And even if that wall off had been up, we probably would have seen some Baneling busting, and that would have been a huge headache for DeMusliM. So there you go, guys. Perfect example as to how effective a Bunker Reaper harass opening can be, but also how vulnerable it can be. viOLet was able to expose the fact that DeMusliM had nothing at home to defend himself because everything that he had invested in was at viOLet's natural expansion, the Bunkers and the Reapers. So very, very nice play there by viOLet, and again, glad to see him win that game after the debacle that was game number 1 and just the waste that those Blue Flame Hellions laid to all of viOLet's everything. His offensive units, the Zerglings, as well as his workers, got torn to shreds that game by Blue Flame Hellions, and it was rough to watch. Certainly was. All right, viOLet moves out and scouts cross positionally at the same time. He is checking this position there with the Overlord. He's going to immediately spot DeMusliM though, pulling his way up into the main. Let's take a look at what we have going on here. DeMusliM, just 1 Rax opening so far. I was looking around the map trying to see if there was another SCV about to build a second Rax, but it doesn't look like it. This does appear to be a 1 Rax expand. Yeah, it looks like that is what it is going to be. You can see right now he's got planned that second supply depot. Ah, yeah, here's a refinery. Okay. So just going a late refinery, very late refinery, again at about 17 supply. That's much, much later than you typically see. Little extractor stealing going on here for viOLet. He wants to stay in the base a little bit longer and also harass DeMusliM if at all possible. He has spotted that building refinery, so just in case DeMusliM had the idea of going second gas early, viOLet says, no you don't. Over here, viOLet does have his expansion coming on through, about 2/3 of the way finished. Spawning pool just now starting as well. He's got his extractor fully saturated. This, of course, is going to give viOLet that metabolic boost nice and early here this game. He's going to get that as soon as that pool finishes. viOLet canceling off the extractor, dropping it again, trying to prolong this as long as possible. Keep in mind, while it's building, it gains health, so by canceling it and rebuilding it, you actually get to stay there a bit longer, trying to get it a 3rd time. However, that gets taken out. DeMusliM dropping that expo. Refinery still going to town. Most likely, what we're going to be seeing here is a factory and some Hellions. That's why I'm assuming that he has this refinery at this point in the game in conjunction with the command center. You can either go 1 Rax expand or 2 Rax expand and defend yourself, but if you're going to go a quick expansion like we're seeing here, it really doesn't make a ton of sense for him to work his way up to starport very quickly. So that's why I'm not expecting to see a starport. If he does, the only thing we'd really probably see from that would be a Marine Hellion medevac push. However, that timing doesn't quite work out if you're going for an expansion that quick there as well. viOLet pulling on up with his Overlord will be checking the back, and this is actually going to be his scouting to show him that this expansion is up. All he needs to do, remember, is click on these mineral patches and see, hey, there's something missing. So there's some mining going on over there. That's basically what needs to occur. Bunch of Lings in play, 8. I guess after the first 2 games, he's really assuming that there will be some early aggression, and I don't blame him for that. Lings pulling up, walking right by that bunker, taking some pretty hefty damage. He scouts the expansion. Is he going to delay it? Maybe about a second or 2 as that SCV probably will be pulling back to can finish building that off. And there you go. All the Lings get taken care of. Not sure if that was the best thing there for viOLet. Maybe he was assuming since there was a bunker up here that there also wasn't a full wall off here, but DeMusliM did have that wall intact that allowed him to prevent those Lings from making their way into the main to get that scouting. And now as a result, viOLet will be forced to, if he wants intel as to what DeMusliM is doing, forced to basically sacrifice this Overlord by pulling it into the main, allowing DeMusliM to kill it. So we'll have Marine Hellion, also an Engineering Bay coming on through. Hellions not on that reactor yet, so just not a large amount of Hellions this game, just enough to get some early game map control. The metabolic boost is now finished. Yes, it is. Metabolic boost is now finished. viOLet continues to get up that gas as he just resaturated that extractor. A An evolution chamber dropping over there. Also a macro hash. Sometimes I say words and I don't know why. Don't know why I say them. So yes, Marine Hellion. That is what we're seeing here. DeMusliM will be going into Marine Tank. We got 2 tech labs over here. Probably going to see a factory dropped on one of them and the other one used for some upgrades, unless he wants to go combat shield and stim pack right away. That's the kind of other alternative that we may be seeing from him. And there's that sacrificial Overlord Scout, and again, it's sacrificial, most certainly, as he is going to be losing it. Spots a tech lab and the racks. So he saw that. He also saw that this was researching, so now he knows, all right, either combat shield or stim is coming on through. And now we're still just seeing more Hellions and Marines. Back over here for viOLet. Carapace level 1 upgrades coming through. Baneling Nest, as well as another extractor, another few extractors. One over there as well. So Speedling Baneling will be the opening. viOLet, of course, looks to be going Speedling Baneling Muta. Very strong, very popular unit composition in this matchup. Scan of the main. Unfortunately for DeMusliM, doesn't spot that Baneling Nest as it is down here at the natural expansion. A couple of Hellions will be checking that third, and nothing there yet though. I'll now be trying to move up into that natural, meeting some spines. It's taken out very quickly, unable to scout anything at all. Stim pack coming through, still nothing here from this tech lab. That's just sitting there, not doing a whole lot. Surprised that he got it that early if he didn't intend on using it. Maybe he just had a change of heart halfway through. Maybe he thought he was going to get tanks earlier, but decided to just keep up that Hellion production, because I don't understand why he would have gotten that second tech lab so early and not utilized it. Kind of just one of those things where it's wasted resources. If you're not going to use it right away, we're talking about a professional level here too. If you're not going to use it right away, you might as well just not get it. Spend those resources elsewhere. You try to be as optimal as possible in this game. You can see finally now doing that swap, we'll be getting some tanks out of this, and there's a reactor. And you might say, Force, how did you know that that was going to happen? Because two tech labs on 2 racks in this matchup doesn't really make sense. Like Marauders, very rarely do you use Marauders in this matchup. Maybe against Ultras or Roaches, but that's pretty much it. And, you know, that's not a standard opener. You don't open with that. You transition into that if you scout, say, a Roach-heavy composition, or you scout Ultras. But even then, you know, Roaches can be dealt with by tanks, and you obviously see tanks a lot in TVZ. And then, of course, the Ultras and the Brewlords are dealt with by Ghost a lot of times nowadays. So, used to see a lot more Marauders, though, against those 2 things. Now people are just using Ghost because they're so crazy good. All right, Lings positioning themselves over here. We also have some Scouting Lings attempting to move in the natural. That gets taken care of, though. That bunker was still pretty full. Hellions just dancing around the map. Another scan of the main. Spots that layers finishes. Also scouting that expansion. Very good of him. Very good indeed. Centrifugal hooks. Still no Spire, though, so just Speedling Baneling right now, and that is it. That's all he's going to be sticking with here in the early game. Zergling grabs a tower, spots the 2 lone Hellions in the middle, and he says, ha 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 ha, full surround, suckers. What are you going to do about that? Overseer in the main base. Did you drop a Changeling? Yes, he did. He's just chilling out there in the resource line. Like, ooh, look at everything I can see. Reactor coming down on the starport. We'll be seeing some double medevac action out of that. Siege Tech is finished. Siege Tanks. There's the Marine tank transition as we expected. And here come these Speedlings and Banelings from viOLet. Ling's pulling out to scout. He's checking the third and checking both attack paths here. So when DeMusliM pushes out, he will see exactly what's coming. Baneling is going to be moving forward. Centrifugal Hook's almost finished. I don't think he's going to attempt a Baneling bust. Yeah, burrow research. Oh, yes. Love it. Absolutely love it. Burrowed Banelings. Oh, it's not going to be a fun day. It is not going to be a fun day at all for DeMusliM. DeMusliM has no idea that that is coming. Oh, man. That's intense. Yes, we're going to be seeing some burrow Baneling busting action as soon as DeMusliM tries to push out. Spire now finally coming. Let's see if we can spot that. That's right back here. So viOLet making that transition into Mutas now. Again, Speedling, Baneling, Muta, very strong. Wants to burrow that Baneling. What are you doing? That's going to be a dead giveaway. If he sees an unburrowed Baneling, he will immediately scan for burrowed ones. We'll be transitioning and bringing that orbital command over to the third here. That's going to be delayed there from that Zergling. And the hope is he's going to try to bait some Marines into that path and just bust right on them. Seeing some medevacs coming on into play as well. We will see if DeMusliM decides to push out with some drop harass. Nothing has happened so far this game in terms of dropping. There you go. A few free Marine kills from those burrowed Lings. A little bit of diversion tactics there just in case there were any additional burrowed Banelings. Wants to make sure that he takes care of that. The Zergling gets taken care of as well. And here comes a missile turret. Speedlings pulling on forward. Getting those tanks out of position. These Banelings ready. Oh my gosh, that's a good time. Okay, never mind. You're taken care of over there. He had a great opportunity to kill off a few, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. Ling's on hold position, trying to kill off SCVs without chasing the Marines. That's the idea behind that. He's trying not to chase those Marines down when they fire. Oh man, there's a scan. He kills off a few with them, not a ton though. He should see that. Yes, he does. He sees that, so he takes out that Baneling as well. Didn't go quite as he planned, but here is a follow-up harass from viOLet, as he's going to be pushing out with some mutas. Ready to walk in the main. We got quite a few turrets and a few Marines there to defend. Fourth base coming out over here for viOLet. Still no drops or anything from DeMusliM. That makes me sad. Want to see some sort of harass from him. He's just focused on the macro right now, getting his upgrades, trying to get that strong economy from that third. viOLet's fourth, of course, as we can see, that's quite a vulnerable position, so he's probably going to want to come out with some spines. Actually, a few Lings even pulling down to help defend in that position. Finally moving into the main with those mutas. He's got 17 mutas in play. He'll be trying to pick off those turrets and then go to harass on the buildings and on the SCVs. One more turret back there. He's going to be focusing on this refinery right now. DeMusliM's going to take that loss. Also losing this attachment at the same time, though. He is pushing across the map. We also have a drop planned over here for him as well. Muta still in the main, will be doing a lot of damage actually. This is very concerning right now for DeMusliM, as he's going to be taking some hefty damage. But he is just going to stick to his guns here and continue to push across the map. And again, we'll be keeping an eye on that drop to see when that goes through. This is really going to hurt DeMusliM's reinforcements, as whenever anything pops out of here, he's going to be losing it to all these mutas. Pushing forward with those Marines, he's going to be hitting a viOLet's third over there. We got some burrowed drones to try to prevent any losses. However, his scan is going to allow him to kill off a few of those. So DeMusliM again staying strong in this position, in this engagement. Muta still in the main, going to town. He's just killing everything. Muta numbers are getting smaller, but my gosh, he's doing so much damage. The third does get taken out. Scan takes out all those burrowed drones as well. So DeMusliM doing a bit of damage in return. Burrowed Banelings get scanned. A couple spine crawlers poking at all these Marines. Muta still doing damage. The numbers getting lower and lower, and then all of a sudden, even those small groups of Marines become threatening. He decides to push back. Now viOLet is on the defensive. Now those mutas can pick off some of these tanks here. However, there you go, pulling back with some Marines as defense. Speedlings and Banelings rolling forward, taking care of the few Marines in that natural. Mutas need to be careful about those Marines. He's got a very nice tank spread. That's going to be a concern for viOLet. He needs to push out with an overwhelming force. We got some units over here and some more over there as well, so he could push from the top side with all that. More mutas pop out. He can hit this expansion, but I think he's going to wait and try to cut off reinforcements here in the center of the map and also try to pick off tanks at the backside. We're going to expect viOLet to converge from multiple angles at some point, hopefully soon, because he can't sit in this position for too long. He does want to try to get that back up over there. Muta's moving up, sniping down some tanks. There you go. That's what you need to do, try to thin up those numbers as much as possible. There's a drop finally from DeMusliM, dropping in the main. At the same time, Muta's pulling on over here. Stim Marines, though, huge concern. Pull back, pull back. And lose a lot if you try to stay in there for that. Able to mop up everything, takes out that medevac as well. Now he can bring his forces and focus on this engagement here right out front of his natural expansion. Small group of Marines push on over into this expansion. Some Zerglings trying to deal with it. Not quite. Yes, he does have enough. Does have enough to deal with that. Where are those mutas? There they are, flying around. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. Just waiting for the opportunity to engage. Marines pulling on forward there, some reinforcements. Got some more mutas moving in that direction. Just a matter of time. viOLet needs, again, he needs to converge on this. He needs to take this out. A great spread here from DeMusliM, which is exactly what he needs to do. Try to spread out his forces to prevent those Speedlings and Banelings when they do converge from being as effective. Lots of Marines, big problem for that small group of mutas, especially stemmed up. Got 5 more mutas coming out. Look at all those Speedlings and Banelings. DeMusliM is still not doing a lot of damage right now, though. He's just kind of sitting idly at the moment, not engaging. Got Marines and a tank now pushing onto this base. This is viOLet's third base at the moment, and he's going to be losing it. Yeah, he cannot defend that right now. And then this is why viOLet needs to do something soon, because the longer he waits, the worse off it's going to get. He has lost his expansion right now. Nothing he can do about that. Pulling down with some Speedlings, again, getting ready for this engagement down here, and here it comes. Speedling, Banelings, and mutas all rolling in. Overwhelming that tank line. He's still got a bunch more Banelings left. He can take care of the rest of those Marines. We get some more Marine reinforcements pushing out over there, and viOLet has managed to break the contain, and the counterattack should be coming soon. Losing this base was a huge, huge loss, so he's only got one mining base. He really needs to do some damage if he's hoping to win this game here. Preparing to push out for that counterattack. Gonna be taking care of a few of these missile turrets in the center of the map. We have a few Marines. He needs to watch out for those Banelings, though. Ooh, nice micro, shredding a ton of those Zerglings. Still have the small force over here. DeMusliM doing massive damage. He took out 3 bases so far. My gosh, that really, really hurts. viOLet's income is struggling right now, and because of that, he might lose this, even though he overwhelmed those forces there from DeMusliM. He has such a bad economy. It's a huge, huge concern. DeMusliM still has this beautiful mining base over here. You can see he's got that economic advantage at the moment. Now losing a majority of those Spielings and Banelings. He is down to just those Mutas there. He's got some more speed. He's got 48 speed. Okay, so we got a ton over there. He lost everything just right there in a run by. That was a big mistake from viOLet. He's going to be attempting a counterattack, but DeMusliM, with his stronger economy, is able to continuously churn out these additional Marines and tanks, and he might have enough to defend. Going to be trying to kill off some workers here. DeMusliM so far this game has killed off 53 workers. viOLet only killed off 29. He loses all of his Zerglings in that counterattack. And yeah, looks like viOLet is going to lose this. His economy is just hurting way too bad right now. And you're going to say, well, Force, what the heck? DeMusliM only has 1 mining base. But viOLet has like half a mining base. So that's the problem. He's going to work to saturate this right now. But at this point, look at the advantage DeMusliM has in supply. 166 to 84. Army-wise, 110 to 47. DeMusliM has a much stronger force at the moment. And that is why things are really not looking good at all for viOLet. He's got some Bro Banelings. He's about to even up those numbers. There it is. Bro Banelings taking out quite a few of those Marines. I still don't think it's enough though, as DeMusliM is now shredding the workers. 71 workers killed now so far this game. Spieling counterattack doing some damage over here as well, as viOLet is trying to return fire. Look at how active he's being in counter aggression. You can't really engage on this right now. There's too many Marines. In addition to that Thor and all those medevacs, he doesn't quite have the force to deal with that. Stimmed up Marines pulling forward. Spielings and Banelings. Nice Marine split. Hello, Micro. How you doing? Good game, well played from viOLet. Game number 3 going to DeMusliM. There you go. Great back and forth here in this game number 3. It does eventually end up going to DeMusliM, so now DeMusliM is ahead 2-1 over viOLet. We will be moving on to game 4 in just a moment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned. Game number 4 coming right up. Look at that, Micro.